From my last Descent comms video, we'll be looking at the comms from number 56 up to 61. Like always, I will be referencing intel that I've discussed in previous videos, so if you haven't seen them yet, I have a playlist set up and you can find this in the description.
Any opposition?
None.
No one was guarding the base?
No. If there are any survivors, they fled.
Did you find what they were looking for?
ISAC did. Echo reconstruction.
Good. What was it?
USB drive. With a roster.
Did you recover the drive?
I wouldn't be calling if I didn't.
Good. Anything else of interest?
Yeah. The way the agents here died. I asked ISAC to do a sweep and status report of any agents. 4 hits came back, all deceased. They were infected with green poison, but that's not what killed them. Team went to a local lab working on the antiviral for DCD before they scattered and died.
You might want to scrub that from the servers.
I don't know how to do that.
Don't worry. Theo can take care of it. What's the lab called?
This continues the Agent Hoskins story arc we were hearing several comms ago. Based on previous intel, it's likely that Hoskins is now in Silver Creek under Keena's orders, and whatever they were looking for has been left completely undefended. While there, ISAC was able to pick up an echo that showed a USB drive with a roster. Hoskins was able to recover the drive for Keena. However, what ISAC also managed to pick up was somewhat suspicious. All are deceased and were infected with the green poison, but it was something else that killed them. This team was working on the antiviral for the DCD when they suddenly scattered and died. So the two big questions from this piece: what is on the USB drive and roster? Well, because I'm behind on the Descent comms, we know from the main story that this drive contains a roster of all known Division agents that were recruited before the outbreak. But why was this being kept in a small town like Silver Creek of all places? And what happened to those agents that were at this unknown facility? It sounds like they were hunted down.
Okay. So, in the event of an emergency, you want to be able to access all communication devices.
We already have that. It's called the National Emergency Broadcast System.
Sure. But say we have an EMP attack or a solar storm or someone attacks the system.
You want to create a redundancy?
I want to create an autonomous communications tool that can access and collate data.
You should talk to Claire.
Who's Claire?
Never mind. That's... shit. Never mind. I can't talk about it.
Oh, one of your secret DARPA consultant buddies?
Something like that. Listen, your comm systems, it's a good idea, but it's not anything new or special.
Well, not yet, but if I can get the funding grant, I can work on the AI system.
Yeah, you should really talk to Redacted. You're such a hexagon, Kevin. You really are.
Here we are introduced to a new character, or at least not one that I've added to my Division story whiteboard up until now anyway. He is talking to Matthias of his new concept, called LINC, that could be a new tool in autonomous communications and would be run by an AI system. Unfortunately for Kevin, his idea is a few years late, as this is something Ortiz Robotics have been developing for quite some time with Kelvin and Natalia. So in regards to who he is, Kelvin Park appears to be a technician that works for the Department of Defense, alongside Matthias, before he fully moved into the Black Tusk. Of course, Matthias, who is privy to considerably more information because of his involvement with Natalia and the Black Tusk, accidentally let slip the name of Claire, someone with obviously a much higher level of clearance, working on classified products that Kevin really shouldn't know anything about.
I made quite a few upgrades to it. The network interface is more stable, the design is more robust, I fixed a ton of bugs, doesn't crash as much, I upgraded the hardware, improved the battery life, I even added customization options to the screen.
Nerd. Not gonna lie, it's impressive.
Thank you, Professor.
We'll need a full demonstration of its capabilities, of course. The technical schematics, review the code.
I can share most of it.
All of it. You want funding, right? You bring the prototype and your documentation, I bring the relevant people, and we will get your project funded.
Will you bring Claire?
Shut up, Kevin.
Kevin is still talking to Matthias about his progress coming along with LINC. However, Matthias is starting to like what he's hearing. But before Kevin can go any further, Matthias has instructed him to set up a demonstration and hand over all technical schematics and coding. Are we now learning of a fourth system that was being created separately from ISAC, Anna, and Diamond?
Trig.
Yeah?
That redacted redacted Claire you said I should talk to before you remembered I shouldn't know she should exist?
What about her?
She wouldn't happen to be Claire Ortiz, would she?
Get that name out of your mouth. Who told you?
No one. She was at a conference on AI and guidance system applications. We got to talking, I pitched her LINC, and she told me it was adorable, but couldn't compete with Isaac.
Stop talking.
Do you know what she's working on?
Seriously, stop talking.
If left unchecked, her work would violate every privacy law.
Seriously, Kevin, shut the fuck up.
I can't believe you aren't concerned about the security risks of a system like that. We have to tell someone. We need to warn them.
Kevin, do you like handcuffs?
What?
If you tell anyone about Isaac, you'd be a traitor to America. You want a permanent vacation in Guantanamo?
No.
Then learn when to stop talking.
Kevin reached out to Matthias regarding Claire Ortiz after bumping into her at a convention. He now knows who she is. She even mentions Isaac to him. Kevin works in this area. He understands exactly how many laws Isaac is breaking, and ethically feels he can't just keep this to himself. People need to know. This immediately raises flags for Matthias. He knows how classified this is, and what the next position Kevin is likely to be in if he can't keep his mouth shut. Kevin says he understands, but I get the feeling he may not be around for too much longer.
I don't get how our comms are their comms.
Manny, seriously? It's the same network. It's like you work at the same place. You use the same internet connection. If you have permissions, you can just look at anything you want on anyone's computer that's connected.
So we can hear everything they're planning. That's great.
You could, but Nat figured out the exploit and was working on a fix.
Was it ready?
Kind of. She needed more power to run the servers. That's what she was having me set up.
Bertie? Did you set it up?
Yeah, 'cause I thought I was working for you. Fucking Johnson told me it was to help take down the rogues that plague the division. How the fuck was I supposed to know you were the rogues?
We're not.
You're fighting the Black Tusk. Cal is with them. If he's in charge and you're fighting him, you're kind of rogue, my dude.
Manny still doesn't understand. Bless. Birdie explains to him again that all of the comms systems are based around the same network architecture foundation. Isaac, Anna, Diamond, it's all the same network. However, Natalia figured out that there was a flaw in the system a long time ago, and over time managed to block the division from listening in on the Black Tusk through Birdie's help. But they can still hear everything the division is talking about. While Birdie is now working on the division after finding out what Natalia and Calvin were really doing, says exactly what we've all been thinking about for a while. Calvin McManus, the highest ranking member of the government that is still alive that we know of, is working with the Black Tusk. And given that we are trying to stop the Black Tusk, at a very basic level without going into Calvin's true intentions, that technically makes us the rogues.
Okay, I'm still confused. Explain how they work again.
The biometric locks?
Yeah, it's like a scan of my eye and my hand, and then it grants me access, right?
If it was your eye and your hand, that's easier to trick than this. You just take someone's eye and hand and you can access the bunkers.
Oh, that's dark.
Well, that's just like what they do in every spy movie ever. So Claire added extra steps. Your pulse is like a fingerprint. It's unique. Your voice is unique, but deepfake tech makes that easier to manipulate, so you have to have all of them at the same time. That's harder to fake. It's also specific to the user. Wrong key and wrong biometric signature, access denied, and you're fucked.
Why?
Huh. Best case, you get locked in a room until someone clears the lockdown and you're taken in for interrogation.
Worst case?
You activate a kill switch that kills you and everyone around you.
Great.
That's only at like the super high security locations. Most places put you in lockdown, or if a lockdown protocol is impractical, like for cargo shipments or something, they're rigged to incapacitate you with gas or electricity, whichever makes more sense in the environment. Electric traps and water have unintended consequences. The gas is better, it's just a bad hangover. Shock treatment? Half the time you end up pissing yourself, and more open to suggestion and psychological reprogramming, huh?
Birdie talks Manny through the biosecurity systems that Claire Ortiz created for Natalia's bunkers. She basically explains that these will be impossible for them to break into, with the consequences of failure of attempted access being death, or even worse. And this is where our sleepy friend, Barden Schaefer, comes in. But if this is truly why Barden is the key, What is stopping Natalia from just simply deleting his credentials from the system, locking him out of the bunkers? I think there is more to this though, because if it was this simple, they wouldn't have launched the attack on the White House. The capture of Barden being one of the main reasons behind this. As always, I'm playing catch up with these comms. I have the next 9 that I'm currently trying to squeeze into a video that I'll hopefully have out soonish. I recently had something called a transient ischemic attack, which is basically a mini stroke, so I've had to cut back on a few things while we're working through that whole process. But I found the writing really helpful, so it's more about finding computer time to build them into videos. Otherwise, thank you very much for the support, everyone, especially all of the members and Patreons that have continued to support during this video upload downtime. Maybe it's time I teach my kids how to make videos. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting, and I'll catch you in the next one soon. Extremis Malus, Extrema Remedia.